So, a quick update first. I am selling this channel because I can't keep up with it anymore. Life been jump scaring me like Five Nights at Freddy's, and I'm juggling too much random BS to actually manage this thing properly. So I'd rather let someone else cook on here selling it cheap because I'm not trying to hold this hostage. Contact info is in the description. You know, I once saw a pigeon try to fight a scooter. It was a valiant effort, a real underdog story, until the scooter just scooted. And in that moment, as I watched a bird's dreams get unceremoniously pancaked on the asphalt, I thought, yep, that's basically the trajectory of every childhood idol, isn't it? And friends, few trajectories have been as spectacularly, as tragically, as undeniably scooted as that of one Mr. Justin Bieber. Look, I'm not saying I was a believer. My musical taste at the time consisted primarily of angsty pop punk and the sound of my own existential dread. But even I couldn't escape the Bieber verse. He was everywhere, a meticulously crafted, auto-tuned, preteen pop phenomenon, delivered straight to your consciousness like a digital lobotomy. And we, the collective internet, just absorbed it. We let the sweet, innocent melodies of Baby seep into our very DNA, unaware that we were mainline injecting a future cocktail of public meltdowns, questionable fashion choices, and the slow, agonizing death of youthful exuberance. The early days, they were almost charming. A kid with a bowl cut and a voice that hadn't quite decided if it wanted to be a choir boy or a chipmunk being hoisted onto the global stage. It was like watching a perfectly good souffle rise, knowing full well it was destined to collapse into a sad, eggy puddle. And collapse it did, my friends. Oh, how it did. The transition from cherubic pop prince to bad boy was less a transition and more a digital demolition derby. It was as if someone handed a golden retriever a pack of cigarettes and a motorcycle, then filmed the inevitable chaos. Remember the egging incident? Good lord, the egging incident. It wasn't just eggs on a house. It was a symbolic splattering of our collective innocence. It was the moment we all realized that the glossy, manufactured perfection of teen stardom was a fragile facade, easily shattered by a dozen grade-A supermarket projectiles. The media, of course, ate it up like a starving hyena at a gazelle buffet. Every misstep, every ill-advised haircut, every Instagram post that looked like it was taken in a poorly lit dungeon, it was all fodder. And we, the brain-rotted masses, clicked, shared, and judged, fueling the very fire that was consuming him. It's a vicious cycle, isn't it? We create the monsters, then we complain when they start breathing fire. And then came the fashion. Oh, the fashion. It was a masterclass in how to spend exorbitant amounts of money to look like you've just rolled out of a dumpster and decided to incorporate your grandma's curtains into your ensemble. The dropped crotch pants that made him look like he'd soiled himself, the perpetually oversized hoodies that swallowed him whole, the inexplicable return of the mustache that looked like it had been drawn on by a particularly confused crayon. It was a visual representation of the internal turmoil, a sartorial cry for help that screamed, "I have too much money and absolutely no one to tell me this looks objectively terrible." It was like watching a high-fashion train wreck in slow motion, and we couldn't look away. Our collective brains, already mush from TikTok dances and endless doom scrolling, found a new fixation in Bieber's increasingly baffling wardrobe. The music, too, began its descent into something. It wasn't bad necessarily, but it started to feel less like genuine artistic expression and more like a public diary entry set to a beat. The soulful crooning of his later years, while technically proficient, often felt like he was still working through his issues on a global stage, and we were all just awkward guests at his therapy session. And the lyrics? Oh, the lyrics. They morphed from innocent declarations of puppy love to angsty odes about inner demons, vague spiritual awakenings, and the crushing weight of fame. It was all very, I'm deep, trust me, I've seen things, man, like really seen things, mostly the inside of a recording studio. Now let's talk about the fan base. The Beliebers, a force of nature, a legion of unwavering devotion, a collective scream that could probably registered on the Richter scale. They stuck by him through thick and thin, through good music and less good music, through public meltdowns and public apologies. They were the digital equivalent of a human shield, deflecting criticism with the ferocity of 1,000 rabid ferrets. It was admirable, in a terrifying, slightly cult-like way. It made you wonder if there was something in the water, or if the sheer power of their collective adoration was enough to bend reality. They'd defend him against anyone, anything, even the irrefutable evidence of his own questionable life choices. "He's just growing up," they'd shriek as he got another questionable tattoo. "He's just finding himself," they'd insist, as he got into another scuffle with paparazzi. It was a beautiful, terrifying testament to the power of parasocial relationships in the digital age. And then came the Haley era, the glorious, gleaming, aesthetically pleasing Haley era. It was like he'd finally found his aesthetic North Star, a perfectly curated Instagram feed of domestic bliss and perfectly coordinated outfits. It was the ultimate celebrity redemption arc, carefully sculpted and meticulously presented. The wild child tamed, the prodigal son returned, the lost lamb married to a supermodel, and suddenly the public narrative shifted. He wasn't the troubled pop star anymore. He was the mature, settled, God-fearing husband. It was almost too perfect, like a carefully constructed diorama of suburban zen. And a part of me, the part that thrives on chaos and the slow-motion car crash of celebrity lives, felt a pang of disappointment. Where was the drama? Where was the spontaneous public crying? Where was the inexplicable pet monkey? But even in this carefully manicured landscape, the brain rot persists. Because even when he's doing everything right, there's still that underlying current of something. The occasional bizarre Instagram caption, the slightly off-kilter dance moves, the lingering feeling that this is all just a very expensive, very public performance. We're all just watching a man navigate the minefield of global fame, and sometimes he still steps on a tripwire. And we, the perpetually online, are there to document every explosion, every minor tremor. It's a testament to the fact that once you've been thoroughly marinated in the digital brine, you never truly escape. The internet has a way of leaving its mark, a permanent watermark on your psyche, a faint but undeniable scent of stale memes and forgotten trends. The escalation of it all, it's just so poetic. From a sweet, innocent kid strumming a guitar to a heavily tattooed, sometimes shirtless, sometimes spiritually enlightened, sometimes just plain confused adult. It's a journey that mirrors our own collective descent into the digital abyss. We started innocently enough, just a few clicks here, a few likes there, and now we're all just a bunch of perpetually exhausted, slightly deranged individuals scrolling through endless feeds, our brains slowly turning into a lukewarm, over-caffeinated sludge. We're all Justin Bieber, in our own way, navigating the bewildering, beautiful, and utterly soul-crushing landscape of modern existence, desperately trying to find a moment of peace amidst the digital cacophony. And what have we learned from the saga of Justin Bieber? Probably nothing useful, except maybe that fame is a cruel mistress, the internet is a ravenous beast, and sometimes a pigeon really can't fight a scooter. But hey, at least we got some truly iconic brain rot out of it, right? My own mental state, after meticulously dissecting this man's entire public life, feels like a crumpled fast food wrapper, discarded and forgotten in the vast, unforgiving expanse of the internet. But at least I have you, my fellow sufferers, to share in this digital despair. So go forth, brave internet warriors, and continue your mindless scrolling. Just remember, somewhere out there, a pop star is still trying to figure out if those pants were a good idea. And frankly, so am I. And with that, I'm off to stare blankly at a wall for an indeterminate amount of time. It's the only way to truly cleanse the palate after a deep dive into the brain-rotting annals of celebrity culture. Don't worry about me. I'll be fine. Probably. Maybe. Just send snacks. Or therapy. Either works. The line between irony and genuine despair is so thin these days, I can't even tell the difference anymore. It's all just a blurred, pixelated mess. Just like my soul. Cheers.